Hello and welcome to part 8 of the getting started with OnAir. So we completed our first mission, we got our first aircraft in the previous videos, and now it's up to us to find our own jobs. Now there are a whole bunch of ways to go around this. The easiest one for me is to go to the My Aircraft list. So I'm going to click Aircraft here, and I've got my Bonanza G36 as I did, and on the Manage tab, or column here, there is a little button that looks like a sort of radar screen, and it says find jobs at the current airport. So I'm going to click that, and it's going to take us to the find jobs list, and it's automatically searched from EGCC because that's where that aircraft is. I've got the direction of from, and it's automatically applied a filter that would mean that it will only show me jobs that are appropriate to that aircraft. I can then put some additional stuff in. So minimum size of airport I'm willing to go to, 0's fine, it's a small aircraft, I could do that. Range, so let's say from 0 to 100 nautical miles, because it's a small aircraft. I don't want to be flying for 5-6 hours for no real reason. The total weight and the passengers is what this filter is actually set up. Hide unavailable jobs just means it won't show me anything I don't actually have the rights to take. Exclude time-constrained jobs. Time-constrained jobs are jobs that have a specific start time, so although you can take them, the passengers or payload won't be ready for you to collect until a certain time. So it's often best to have these excluded, but it's up to you when you want to take them. Exclude military airports and exclude airports without lights are pretty self-explanatory. Exclude human-only jobs, so these ones with the little joystick icon. If you're flying things with AI or your tycoon mode, you want to have that on because you don't want to be taking jobs that have to be flown in a simulator. And search surrounding airports. So what that will do is it'll look at other airports nearby to the one we're searching for. So we might have to hop over to them and take the job. So once we've set up some information here, you can hit Query Logistics Center again, the green button, and it will have a think about that, and it will tell me what jobs are available. And there we go. So there are an absolute ton of jobs that match my requirements here. So let's take a look at how these jobs work. So each job, you can hit the little plus sign to expand if it's multiple legs. This first number here is how many legs it has. So I think these are all one-leg jobs. Do any of them have more than one leg? We've got a little two-leg job here, so we can expand. We can see that there's two. So one from Manchester to Abbots Bromley and one to Amsterdam. Textiles and steel beams. I don't know why you'd want to put steel beams on G36, but you might get one or two in the back. Our next step is the base, so it's kind of what airport does it start from, and then the main, so where's it going to, generally speaking. The next one, these little icons tell us what kind of job it is. So the little green cargo box here just means it's a general cargo payload. The little glass with a crack in it says that it's a fragile payload. There are a lot of others that aren't showing up in this because I don't have a passenger license right now. There's a full list of those on the website if you want to see. Heading, so what's the direction from Manchester to the destination? How far is it? How much is the actual cargo payload? Any passengers would go in this next tab. Let's just shrink that down to avoid confusion. So any passengers would go down here, and it's in the form of eco number / business number / first class number. Now, I don't have a passenger license, so none of them have passengers. Total weight, so that's passenger plus cargo. The minimum airport size that appears in the job. The expiry time, so I've got 203 hours. If I point out, it'll give me the exact UTC time and date. Any bonus XP that I would get from that particular mission. Any reputation bonus I would get from that mission. The penalty is how much per day I will be charged for failing to deliver it by its deadline. So when this hits 0 here, I'll get charged 30 credits. And then every day after that, I'll get an additional 30 credits of penalty up to 14 days, at which point the job is just gone. This number here is a payment of how many credits per £1,000 of cargo per nautical mile. It's a good way to judge how economic a job is. Pay here is obviously the total amount of pay, and then any status symbols can be shown on the right. And if we scroll this box to the right a little bit, there's actually a favorite button. So if I was to say, oh, I quite like the look of that job, and I quite like the look of that job, I can click those, the little stars activate, and then up at the top here, I can go to favorited, and it'll just show me those jobs. It's a good way to keep track if you want to compare multiple jobs. So I'll turn them back off. I'll go back to the logistics center. So that's our basic jobs, and that's all there is to it. Once we find a job we like, we can just go ahead and hit take next to the job. And it doesn't seem to have done anything right now. But if you look closely, you'll notice that job is no longer in the list. And if I go back to my pending jobs, you'll see that I have my new level mission, but also the job I just took. And they're both at EGCC. And at that point, you can just go back to your aircraft. You can prepare your flight, just like we did in the previous section, and away you go. Now, a handy little feature, if we go to the prepare flight here, we can see this one wants to go to EGGL, which is that job I just taken, and I can load that job up. But I can see a little search button here, find similar jobs. So when I click this, it's going to look for any job that's kind of similar. So what's going from EGC to EGGL. So if you have a job that's too small and you'd like to take additional stuff, you can use that button to try and find things that are going to the same place, so that you can kind of use your aircraft more economically by completing multiple jobs at once. And that is the basics. So this should be the end of the getting started tutorial. Good luck and have fun.